שענה אברהם אבינו בהר המורים, מי שענה אברהם אבינו בהר המורים.
Ruchim Habi'im, welcome friends. Seder Hishtalshelus. What is this? What does this mean? This is the meaning of the order of creation. So, God did not create time, of course, until he created our physical world. But before time, there is a sequential progression of spiritual steps leading to our universe. The sequence may be referred to as proto-time. Although these steps occurred simultaneously, in the instant before the creation of the physical world, they followed a certain developmental order in which we as infinite humans would experience eventually as real time. So this is a concept that I've been studying for a while now, and it's very deep, a lot deeper than my previous videos, but I'm trying to grow in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and I find what I've been learning very fascinating. And so what I want to do is a series of videos, small videos, basically with a very, very simple explanation of the order of creation. This is going to be a very beginner level type of learning of this, but to maybe give you more of a perspective, a vision of this process. And I will recommend books that I'm studying and books that go into greater detail and much more a greater explanation of what I'm going to share. But I'm going to do my best to share because I find it fascinating, and hopefully you will enjoy, hopefully you will learn, and you can give me feedback. But here we go. So basically, how the dimensions of reality came to be, the mechanics of how the world is created. This is what we're talking about here. So we begin with the light that emanates from the beginning. So in the beginning, it was light. And the infinite God, which we can't talk about. So the Hashem, the God, we can't really put a description to God. We can't really define him. Even though the Torah talks about God, gives personifications and the like attributes, these are all just expressions of God. But here we are talking about the essence. And we're going to talk about a concept of Or Ein Sof. The Arizal says, before there was anything, there was an infinite light that emanated, and there was nothing else that existed. And that light was contracted to the side. And this is known as Tzimtzum. So there was space that was made in order to allow creation to exist. And you have this halal, basically a makom, a space, and through that void, the infinite light re-entered and streams back into space, and the light entered in. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. And these concepts, we can't compare them physically. These are all just broken down in terms, in human terms, so that we can understand what is taking place, but we cannot compare it to actual physical attributes. So here I have a little diagram here, and basically this is everywhere is this light. Okay, The light is everywhere. This is everywhere. But we talk about this space, and the light was contracted and made this line, which is called a kav. And in the kav, the light was restricted, and then it comes out and the light enters back in. And this is known as Adam Kadmon. Okay? And now all of creation cannot connect to the infinite light through the kav and Ein Sof beyond. This is the first Tzimtzum. Okay? And that light entering back in is the soul of creation. The light entering in represents the soul of creation. So I've heard terms that this is like the soul of Mashiach, which is sustains or goes through all of creation. And this is also known as like Mashiach consciousness. And it's interesting. I put a source that about Mashiach, talking about unless a seed is planted and then dies, it can bring forth fruit. And so this is kind of like, I feel like there's a connection here. So now the infinite light is being expressed through Adam Kadmon. This life force, this consciousness that exists in reality is Adam Kadmon. And also, it contains all of creation within it. And so actually, I have this Jeremy C. Springfield. I hope he doesn't mind me taking an excerpt from it. But he explains that this can help you visualize this event by thinking of a womb. A womb exists within a female, and it contains an area that is technically not her, and yet could also be technically said to be anyone else either. The womb would parallel the Kalal. The mother herself would parallel the Ein Sof. The life that grows within the womb would parallel their transformative power of the air or Ein Sof, filling and vivifying creation. This concept will be returned, and he says further on with greater explanations. But I thought that was a great way to explain how Hashem, or basically not even Hashem, I'm saying that or Ein Sof, allowed to make space within to bring forth more. And I'll expand more on that later. But we see that this is the soul of all reality, a collective consciousness, the soul of Mashiach. And is this concept sourced anywhere? Well, in Midrash Rabbah, it actually says here that, let me see here, the forefathers, the people of Israel, the holy temple, and the name of Mashiach entered the thought of God to be created prior to creation of the world. And so we see that how was Mashiach in the beginning in these things? Well, this is all the thought. This is all in the thought before creation. And so Adam Kadmon starts from the beginning of creation, at the beginning of the Kav. So we see here, right here is the beginning of Adam Kadmon. Here is Ein Sof, and there is the top, the head. This is basically the head of Adam Kadmon right here, touching the top of the Kav. And this is the Kav right here. This is the soul of creation. The light flows into Adam Kadmon, concealed within, so to speak, that the soul and everything receives that energy because he is the soul of creation, and we receive that light from the openings, from the face of Adam Kadmon. So we see that even in this book here I'm studying, and I do recommend for those that want to learn more and deeper concepts of this. This is Shomer Emunim, the introduction to Kabbalah, but he does explain. I forgot to mark the page, but basically he explains that Adam Kadmon is kind of like the mediary between the upper and into the lower worlds. And so this is the beginning process, and I'm just gonna end it here. I'm gonna do short 10-minute videos and bring the next concept as we go through this. We're gonna learn about the four worlds and how the Shever HaKelim and the forming of the Sephirot, how it all came to be. So, so we have a better understanding of this process. Shalom.